finish line. Hey, the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Oh, yes, indeed, indeed. We're back. And finally, hopefully those god dang rich graphic gremlins and those internet insects leave me alone for once in the crying out loud. It's been, seems like every time something goes wrong, it's always Wednesday nights that mess it up. But nevertheless, enough of my ranting, enough of that, because it's time to go racing here at WWT Raceway. Hi again, everyone. I am Christian Crusader Shriver. Welcome back to the show. As always, you know we're here for some action. We're here for the racing. Before we do all that, though, you know what time it is. We got to go down to our track tech talk for this evening. This is how we're looking at the track tonight. This is how everything is looking to shape up and shape and form to position. There is going to be a lot of battles out here tonight. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff going on. The weather, if you can't read, unfortunately, because of the kilometers and all of that, basically the weather is 83 degrees out here. Track's about 85, nice and cool actually compared to what you usually hear from the track around here. The wind's about north here at 8 miles per hour. There'll be a little bit of a tricky situation here, and the rising humidity could play a factor. We'll see how well that all plays out though as the field goes on here tonight, as we wrap things in and get ready to go. So tonight, as mentioned before, the Old School League presented by Affordable SEO and Marketing is here tonight, ready to go at each other and ready to go to war, trying to outwit and outpace the other, trying to set them up for a long haul run and a long hard race. And there's a lot at stake here for these drivers. As we've seen here before, they will all be fighting for the same thing and all that contendership and championship, as you saw right now in the grading order. Here is how our qualifying looks, how everyone looks right now in the position, as the drivers are currently finishing up their testing and their qualifying, if you will, at this point. Just kind of getting one last little tune-up or two, ready to go. Ready to work their way in, ready to get this one fielded on by. Hard runs of racing, hard battles to smash here tonight, as the field currently still finishing up qualifying. We're just about a few minutes away here, actually a few seconds from gritting up and ready to go here. Dennis Whitmer, what's going on, buddy? And as well as Art Milne, great to have you guys on board here tonight. Unfortunately, Pendle is not with us tonight, Mr. Whitmer. Unfortunately, he will be joining us tomorrow night. Be sure to tune in for that, though. But if you want, man, I'd definitely stick around and check this out. We got a pretty good race going here tonight, so we'll see how this plays out. Looks like drivers are ready to go here. We are now initiated into gridding order, so let's start them on the pole. It's going to be the number 1 of Johnny Taylor. It's going to be the number 3 of Johnny Taylor in this first start out of New England. It is outside. Tyler Hunt in the Atlantics in the 20. Row 2, Kyle Hanna in the 4 out of the Virginias and is outside. Nicholas Wilson in the 53 out of California. Row 3, Mark Sarkozy in the number 8 out of New York is outside. The Canadian, Byron Bartlett in the 77. Row 4, Brian W. Wiggins in the 5 out of California. It is outside. Raleigh, Illinois. It's David Castelli in the 24. Row 5, it'll be Terry Dougie in the other lone Canadian in the 21 is outside. It'll be the 42 of Kyle Milliken out of Georgia. Billy Milner making his shot out here from the Mid-South in the 12 and is outside. It'll be James, you don't call him Freddy Krueger, in the 25 to round out your field here tonight. Field is set. Field is ready. And like I said before, we've had so many bugs and issues and annoyances that it's just time to finally get down to business. Finally time to let these drivers just rock and roll here tonight. So we're not going to worry about any more issues, no more stuff like that. As long as they stay away from us. I know it seems like it always happens on Wednesday nights. I don't know why that is, and I don't know what goes down, and it really annoys me and bothers me because all I really want to do is give these guys a good show and give them what their money's worth, to give you fans at home what you work for as well, to give these guys the support and love that comes out every time out, just to try and get ready for these races, get ready for these battles as the field is now ready. Lining up into their positions here and lining up into their run zones. Your driver's lineup is set to go. Drivers will come on around here. You see the lights on the gridding order here, ready to come at it, ready to fight their way into this position zone. When we go green, we will see the drivers pull them out and push them forward and put a full pedal to the metal run here tonight. There is a huge lineup of folks that are ready to take this one to the cleaners and finally show what they are capable of and what they will create when it comes to their battles and comes to their races. They all look for the same thing, and that is to become a champion. But to become a champion, you got to get something figured out here. Wetmer saying just get ready to go to bed early tomorrow morning. Yes, sir. I know how that is, my man. Well, right now, as you stay with us here, we're giving you a show. We'll give you the run and give you all that. Folks, this time around, we're underway here in just in a short time or frame. Coming down on the front straightaway, they line them up, getting ready for the run. The lights come on. It's green flag racing. And off the line through the chicane, down the front straightaway we go here. Already a hot battle here. Tyler Hunt tries to put the boot to Johnny Taylor. Try to give himself a little bit of a run here. The Butcher. Turn 2 already. Big problems there for the 3 of Johnny Taylor. And no. Tyler Hunt and him, unfortunately, making a little bit of contact there out of turn 2. And Hunt, unfortunately, gave him the little spin and a rub. And that now opens up the door for his teammate, Nicholas Wilson. The Butcher Brother boys on a hot start. They're running hard now. 160 laps to the distance here tonight. These drivers are going to really be having to fight their way through this one. A lot of laps to complete, a lot of battles to say the least here. Mark Sarkozy in that number 8 Extreme Motorsports Affordable SEO mode, kind of set up shop, challenging them in, working them on by. The 77 on Byron Bartlett there, working it down to the back straightaway, trying to keep them on in. As the 5 of Brian W. Wiggins, clearing house, a clean day, moving them through right now, trying to challenge up. As the 53 there of Nicholas Wilson put to the back there, a bobble there. Gives up the position to Kyle Hanna, his other teammate, and Tyler Hunt taking the race lead back as Wiggins out of turn 4, having some troubles, gets right into the wall, can't quite get that car to stay stabilized. We'll see if that comes back to be a factor later on. One thing you're going to notice, though, with these drivers is I'm going to take you onto the board cam. Let's go ahead on board here with old Wiggins. There's some long stretches here and some long runs. But one thing you're going to notice big time here is this track. It's actually kind of shaped like Twin Mortegi, but not on the banking. What do I mean by that? Well, if you remember, if you watched our stream there, you can see a lot of the battles here. They're going to really be trying to run them down that straight. But when you go into the turns, watch how longer turn 1 and 2 is compared to how turn 3 and 4 is. look at the length and difference that those turns are just in general. That's a huge difference. It's really going to be a matter of playing into the setup and lane, trying to figure out how to control the car. The way the car is set up, it's very almost like Darlington, if you will, whereas like one side's a little bit shorter than the other, and then one is separated out to kind of help laying out the track field. Well, here, it's pretty much the same idea. The only difference is you have a lot less banking, and you have a lot more cornering to do. ARCA cars, trucks, wheel and modify, they're perfect for here because you can do that kind of stuff, and you got a lot of power under the hood. Super late models are a good car to run around here, but a lot of times you don't really hear about it is like the Cup cars and Xfinity, because honestly, unlike Martinsville where you kind of have a lot less banking there and more run, this kind of tracks is just a lot harder to control and manipulate, and that's kind of what you're seeing right now from the drivers early on. Field working it on in down on that front straightaway here, moving the chains and moving them on in, trying to give themselves a run and a half here. All right, back on around right now. Still everybody in a hot pursuit, trying to make their moves and make their presence felt here. Still a lot of time and ground up here for anybody to make some positions, as you got 3 cars battling for the same spot. Second, Zakosi right now trying to hold on that middle line section where Kyle Hanna there on the front, trying to hold up and burn some momentum in there. Laying into it, trying to stay into the zone, trying to corner off, run him in hard, down out of turn 1, down in turn 2. Hanna now starting to open the door up a little bit. Zakosi trying to corner in a little bit. We're going to take you on board here. I'm going to show you something with here that Zakosi's doing that is really kind of playing more to the benefit for him right now. There are 2 lines, in my opinion, to run this track, and that's middle and bottom, or bottom and middle. And what do I mean by that? Well, exactly, just put it nicely. When you're running on a certain tire, a certain turn, you have to kind of set the car up a little bit more for another area at a different time. Like you see right here, you actually hear the car kind of come more to a stop because it's having to brake a little bit. And you see him running that middle go up to the bottom. Whereas you saw Kyle, he went from the bottom more or less to try to get it to run off to the top side as they back him down around out of turn 2. There the back straightaway. Now Kyle Hanna opened the door up, and Zakosi seizing the opportunity. The crossover is connected and the connection is made. Zakosi as after his old friend and rival Tyler Hunt currently. He is right now your race leader, trying to make the charge for the Butcher Brother boys. Running him on down bow here. Everyone's still charging him in. He has the race lead at the moment, and there was a long time ago where we used to say everyone was trying to outwit and outsmart Hunt and try to beat him all the time. How the tides have changed. But now Hunt has really been trying to find a little bit more momentum and trying to find a little bit more power ever since he comes out here and decides to run some lines in here. The back-to-back right now, the Butcher boys currently holding up 3rd through 5th as you got Hanna, Wilson, and this man, James, don't call him Freddy Krueger, in the 25 machine, challenging them in right now, having some runs and a half here, trying to hang by with these guys. Field brings it down the stretch here, trying to build some momentum up, as right now they've still got a lot of laps to complete here, about 16th the way there. This is not one of those just one and dones where you have a one mistake and it costs you the whole race. No, this is more or less like you have a long run shootout, just trying to survive, and only the best will be able to hold out in this entire time. As you get a good look here at our current points leader as well, being Nicholas Wilson right now. He is the guy everyone is trying to take on and trying to defeat out there, and hoping he can survive a little bit here. He's been running him pretty strong as of late, but he just hasn't caught a break. If there's one thing we can say though about him is that he just has this undeniable attitude. Like, I don't know what's the word I can think of, but he's just, for some reason, he just loves to just absolutely run his line and run his spot up and really try to show what he is capable of every time out there. As you see a good glimpse of just how big the track is and how long those stretches are, especially that back stretch. That's one thing you're going to notice, like I said tonight, is just the back stretch is just so diverse in length compared to when you go on the front stretch. It's like you build all that momentum on that corner, And now all of a sudden you're coming down around to turn 1 and 2, and you're just going to see it right here. They're going to come down, and then watch how slow they have to clear them off, try to get that car to take a set, so that way they can actually get the car to work in better. You can see right there, they're slowing up so much, but they have to do that. They have to get the car to take a set in order for the run to work out later on. As you got Brian W. Wiggins currently trying to catch up there to the 24 of David Castelli. Castelli right now 2 up spots right where he was at. He was in 8th at the moment, but now he's up in 6th. Right now, James, don't call him Freddie Krueger, the hard charger of the night. Up 7 spots from where he was at. He started dead last. Right now, he's kind of working his way on in. Roundabout out of turn 4 here. And speaking of working it on in, if you guys would, we'd appreciate it too. Be sure to visit up our merch store and go check some of that stuff out. See what you like and see if maybe there's something in there that you would like to pick up today. Of course, PTM Racing TV couldn't do it without the help of Paul's Wraps, so there's some of their merchandise in there, and we do appreciate them for coming on by and helping us out. I've actually purchased up about $180 worth of gear right now that I'm ready to show off and market to my friends and family as well as you guys when the time comes. So be sure to check out the store and check out all that stuff, and look for future details on new stuff to come. Well, that is if I can figure out more stuff that doesn't involve kind of sacrilegious stuff that I've kind of said on the show before. CLM. Anyway, out of turn 2 there. Hey, speaking of the big blue cone, there it is. I hope somebody does not take that cone out tonight. Somebody takes that cone out, we might have a problem. But anyway, moving back to the action here. Tyler Hunt right now getting charged up here. He is starting to really lose his ground and time up. As you can look here on the pit laps right now, lap times. Times don't lie. Tyler Hunt right now, he's been running hard, but Sakosi, he is just laying into this one. The power of that affordable SEO marketing machine is currently just challenging him in, trying to fight his way through. See if maybe he can get something going there for his way here and try to see if he can count him on back around now. Running on by out of turn 4 here, moving his chains on in, trying to get some power under that hood. He's slowly but surely closing the gap. About a half a second now for Tyler Hunt and Sakosi. Sakosi looking to try to clear him on in, give himself a little bit of a fighting chance here as they move through down on the back straightaway here, challenging him on through. Hunt doing everything he can to try to stay ahead there of his old teammate, his rival now, if you will. But it's Sakosi that is playing the short run, big term strategy game. It seems to be sticking for him, but how long will that be the case? Because if I know Hunt, he usually is really good about trying to save his tires up and save for the later half, and then hit it hard later on when he wants to. We'll see if that is the factor here as they battle around out of turn 1, down in turn 2 here. Now the gap's starting to really close off there. We'll see if that's going to be the case here as they come on down the back straightaway here, moving the chains. You can see that determination, that focus that Sakosi has right now in that affordable SEO and marketing number 8 machine. Moving it up and moving the chains through, trying to build a little more power under the hood. But the gap is starting to really close off between him and Tyler Hunt right now. But is it enough? That's going to be the main question. Is it enough? Because there's one thing we've learned. It's one thing to get a short run now, but it's another when you got a long-term race later. And right now, that might just be the case here. Sakosi to the inside, moves in the chains. Moves the affordable SEO and marketing, and Marconi set up shop to the inside, challenges them on around, and folks, we have ourselves a new leader. Sakosi takes it away from Hunt. Will Hunt be able to capitalize on any mistakes that Sakosi might make here? He's not making any mistakes right now. It's Billy Milner right now on the outside line. That 12 machine not looking too good. Problems for the Valvoline 12 at the moment. Right down and about here, moving them on down, charging them through as Sakosi trying to get a bigger lead on Hunt. Tyler Hunt, though, looks like he's actually trying. Got to put a little more power into that hood and start to really get some more grip. It seems to be working for him right now. We'll see if that comes back to play into the race later. There's a little bobble there on turn 2. That might have just given the gap to Sikosi where he needs to be. I don't know about that though. It doesn't look either one actually got any runs off that. Looks like Hunt actually might have been able to build more momentum off on the corner there after that little tumble there, but he seems to be staying into it. Trying to move him through right now, battling back on in right now. Sikosi trying to fight this way to the top, trying to stay in that zone, but he knows Hunt is right behind him. Moving in the corners. We've got ourselves a hot battle here for the race lead. Moving the chains on in, moving them through right now. These two absolutely putting on a pretty good show here to start on the early going. Not giving any chances up, not giving any room for mistakes here. These two are going to try to stay in that run and stay in that zone all night long. But will they be able to hold off for that time and run? That's the big thing I will tell you right now. In my opinion, if they're going to do it, they've got to be a little more careful about how they hit their spots up and how they hit the switch on these things. Threw him on through here down out of turn 4. And yet again, Hunt still trying desperately. He's just laying into that thing, man. He is just not giving any chances up. Sikosi might have had a short run in that car, or he might have a really good long run, but I mean right now currently Tyler Hunt is just not giving him any chances, not giving him any breaks here. As we focus our attention over to the Facebook chat right now, see how everyone's doing over there right now. James Harris, love the ARCA cars. It's a flat Darlington. That sounds about right, buddy. Great to have you on board, Marauder. Good luck in your season championship race come next Tuesday, buddy. We'll be sure to call the action there. Art Milne, 7721, picking up Buds, long range. You got time? Yeah, they've definitely got time right now, but currently they are in the back of the pack. They're in the outhouse. They're going to have to work their way to get to the White House. Still looking pretty strong, though. Still looking pretty solid on his end, and hopefully looking to possibly keep the momentum in here and try to stay into that zone. Got a long way to go, though. And it looks like Hunt's starting to lose the ground and time up here. The field's starting to move through a little bit as the teammates, Nicholas Wilson, Kyle Hanna, looking to try to keep their power alive, try to keep their zones in as they come on down around that front straightaway here. Running him on by right now, threw him on down. Wilson currently still moving the chains and trying to get the corners off a little bit, but you can see him really just kind of having to hit his harks a little harder. They're out of turn 4 here and trying to hang on by there, but just not quite getting the power he needs there. Two good friends and teammates going at it here. Seems like these guys are always in that hunter in that zone to just kind of fight around here and give themselves a fighting chance. But you know, that's kind of the big thing when it comes to these kind of races. It's just there's friendships and then there's racers. Which one do you be? Are you going to be the one that tries to help out when you need to, or are you going to be the one that's going to fight your way to the end and really stay in that zone all the way through? And in my opinion, right now, the way things are going, Mark Sikosi is just eyeing up that victory spotlight right now, just absolutely playing into the momentum and the power here. Johnny Taylor, after that little earlier bobble on the start, has now started to rise above the insect here that is currently WWT Raceway. That's kind of not really giving him very much of a help here. He's really just trying to build momentum and try to get it back in. But you can tell that Good Range Service number 3 machine is just a little bit off tonight after that little spin around. And when we come back, folks, we'll find out if he's able to regain that momentum and he's maybe able to catch up to James Kruger, who's ahead of him at the moment. Right now, your top 5 working their way in for a solid run and a solid battle here. Who will be the one to lay claim and win here at WT Raceway? We'll find out when we return to BTN Racing TV for more old school league action. Well, tonight's race brought to you in part by Affordable SEO and Marketing. It's time you outrank your competition online today. and by FEG and by FEGPC.net. Now a word from them as well.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they started their sim racing journey. I searched high and low for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I have partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at FEGPC.net.
And currently right now, as we're still focused in on our drivers here at the moment, Nicholas Wilson still about a second back of Kyle Hanna, his teammate. Kyle just currently just rocking and rolling it here. And Tyler Hunt out of turn 4 ends up giving the wall a little lick and a half there. Ouch. Just bashed right into that wall out of turn 4, had nowhere to go, and ends up taking a good lick and a size hit out of that one. Nowhere to be and out of focus there. Through right now, starting to field him on back in out of turn 4 here, still trying to give himself a little bit of a fighting chance here. But after that wall hit there, that wall bang, he ended up back about 3.5 seconds with Segosi. Segosi's already starting to reel and deal its way in here. Right through him on back down around out of turn 4 here. You saw a little bit of a blink there from James. Don't call him Freddy Krueger there. Not sure what's going on down there, but I mean, there's one thing we know is that little Freddy Krueger doesn't have nightmares, but apparently the car does right now. As he builds it through down around out of turn 3, down in turn 4 here, trying to get some momentum carried his way. See if that comes in to work for him here and starts to really focus in on his runs. Byron Barlett, the 77 machine, trying to work him through and give himself a fighting chance here. Still great to have you all on board here tonight, supporting up the show as always. Again, it's an honor and pleasure to have you guys on board. Chase Montgomery joins us in saying, "Go Billy." Rooting on for Billy tonight, trying to give himself a little bit of a fighting chance here. It's great to have you on board here, sir. As we will continue on in here and still work our way through the field and see how this one plays out here at the moment. Currently, not a lot of action to speak of really to call about, but I'll say Kyle Hanna there just had to make a little bit of a pass there around Billy Milner. The Valvoline number 12 right now just kind of having some troubles there early on. He's really, I think he's just trying to stay out of the way and give everyone a chance here, but damage is definitely done on that right side. Heads to pit road here. And speaking of trouble, whoa, hold on a minute. We got a big problem here out of turn 3 and 4. Tyler Hunt on a complete sudden stop, trying to enter into pit road here. We're not sure what happened there. We're about to take it to the PTMS to replay. Looks like he was trying to go into pit road and try to get his momentum to carry through, but there's just one thing you got to remember about these cars. If you touch that grass, it's like ice. And he ends up going for a spin and a half here. So now, right now, as we speak here at the moment, Tyler Hunt trying to get that car worked in, get things fixed up on his end right now. See if he's able to get things fixed back on in for later on right now, but currently the way that car is settling in, he's got a lot of laps to make up now with the way Sikosi's running, and Kyle Hanna as well. They're just starting to really rock and roll here and starting to really put the car on kill switch here, just keep it going here to the end. Still though, a lot of laps left. Some drivers we haven't focused our names on tonight. Kyle Milliken in that 42 machine. Yeah, that's one thing we gotta have. We need to really mention here is that, folks, these guys are looking for drivers to come join in their series and in their league. If you guys want to run with them and run on a Wednesday night and be on a broadcaster show, well, I definitely recommend calling up these guys. We've left the link to catch their group page in the chat, so be sure to check that on in, and hope you guys give a little bit of love and shout out to them. They definitely could use a few drivers, and they could definitely use a lot more support. There you go, a lot of good folks over there that just need a little bit of it. Back on around though, Kyle Hanna, man, that number 4 machine looking solid as can be. Really moving the chains and moving the throttle in, but he's not far ahead of right now in this position. He's still trying to hold off and trying to stay in the zone here. Corner him on in, you can see that kind of that inside little padding there of the neck brace there, holding him in and holding him stable as Kyle Hanna works it down out of turn 4 here, moves the chains on in. You can hear right there how hard they're actually hitting on that brake a little bit, letting that car shift down. When you see that speedometer go straight down like that, that means they're trying to get the car to take a set here. Try to get it to work in, and right now Nicholas Wilson and Kyle Hanna are doing just that as they now have lapped up to the 8th spot here. Sikosi, well, let's just say he's about 7 seconds ahead of all those drivers right now. Crazy to think, but Sikosi right now is just looking strong as can be and just absolutely putting all the power to that affordable SEO marketing machine. But will it work the whole race through? We've seen it before here on the show. A lot of drivers dominate early, but then something goes wrong and something kind of messes up on their end, and all of a sudden the tide changed, just like Johnny Taylor here right now. Currently trying to move it through and trying to stay in that zone, trying to stay in the clear. Trying to fight his way on down, trying to move in the chains and get himself into the area of play. He's got a lot of work to do though if he wants to get in that zone. Moving them back on in, everybody's still coming through. It's trying to hang in there just a little longer. Nowhere to go and nowhere to mess up in this end. Johnny Taylor down, coming around now yet again. Kyle Hanna there, currently in the 2nd spot, about 7 seconds back of Sikosi, and that's not looking too good on his end. If you look at the lap counter here, this is the difference between Sikosi and Hanna, and right now out of that lap, currently Sikosi actually gave up a little bit there to Hanna. We'll see if that comes by again. It did indeed. So let's see. We're going to go a few laps around here and see if Sikosi keeps that momentum and power away from Hanna, but right now, currently, the tide seems to be changing, folks. There might just be a little bit of a different run in here. There might be a little bit less momentum coming from Sikosi's car, which if Kyle Hanna can figure something out here, he can actually catch up to him right away. Remember, they have 160 laps they got to go through tonight, so that really differentiates and dictates the pace when it comes to the power and momentum they have here as you come on by here, lap 44, and that's a whole different shift right there. So it appears Sikosi actually still has a lot of power under that car compared to what Hanna is doing right now. Back him on by down that back straightaway right now. Currently, Johnny Taylor, after that hard little spin around he had earlier with Tyler Hunt, trying desperately to give himself a fighting chance. He's trying to fight his way to the end, trying to get some momentum carried through. If he can get that momentum keeping going here and have a chance here, I think he might be the guy to watch out for if a caution comes out. not a lap down yet, and currently Kyle Hanna and Nicholas Wilson and Kruger haven't exactly ran away with this yet. This has really been a war of factions between the Butcher brothers, that being Hanna, Wilson, and now Hunt and Johnny. And of course, then you got in that faction over on the next side, the Extreme Motorsports guys there of Sikosi, Taylor, and Brian W. Wiggins as well. Those guys have really been the ones to watch out for on certain tracks in certain areas, but the same can be said about the Butcher brothers. And then in the middle of that, you kind of got some guys that are just kind of hanging in there, just doing what they can, but, you know, haven't really, in my opinion, been at full strength. Guys like Terry Dougie, Kyle Milliken, and Byron Barlett, they have been the guys that have worked their way in, have worked their tail ends off, but they just can't get the momentum they look for to finish out, and it just seems to set them back so often they're not. So the ultimate question is going to be is, when will that change? You know, will that be able to change? Can they get those cars dialed back in and start to really run the crate, run the runs, you know? As the field works down around, though, right now, currently Billy Milner, that 12 Valvoline machine, trying to build a little bit more momentum back up in there. They are allowed some instant repairs here, folks, but they got to be careful about that. And right behind them, looks like James Don't Call him Freddie Krueger there, having a little bit of a run around here as Johnny Taylor eyes up his spot here for fourth. Moving the chains on in. Krueger right now, I think, is having a little bit of a nightmare with the internet, because currently he is absolutely getting tore up when it comes to the blinking. You know, there's a old thing in the NES game that says the blinking light win, but right now I don't think that means blinking. I don't think this means blinking light win for the lead here. That, not of your Wiggins anyway. Or excuse me, Krueger. I don't know why I said Wiggins. Move him down the front straightaway, move the chains on in, and Billy Milner into the wall protection there, back into the wall zone there, out of turn one. Eye damage up on that car there, and yet again he's continuing to get put around a little bit, just having troubles to stay in that zone with these guys, and just, it's been tearing it up out of late. Through down on the front straightaway yet again, back him out, in, out, around, out of turn one. And Johnny Taylor giving it all he can right now to get some momentum built up around Krueger. James Don't Call him Freddie Krueger in that 25 machine, giving it all he's got. As the 21 there, Terry Dougie, trying to look a little Dougie fresh out there. But unfortunately, not the case, because he's getting lapped up, getting passed by, and having all sorts of problems. That car just not built for the WTT Raceway tonight. And you can see the distance here on the blimp cam right now, how far Taylor is with Krueger. Not by much, and it's definitely not by any means the imagination. You can see right here the time zones have been absolutely killing Johnny Taylor out there tonight, and it looks like they're still having a little bit of an internet trouble over on the end there for Taylor and Krueger. Both drivers kind of going in and out there. Remember, that's not our end, folks. That's their end. When you see them blinking around like that, that means that's their end, not us. Threw him on back around yet again here, starting to challenge him in, and caution comes out. Looks like we have a caution. Billy Milner out of turn 4, it looks like, comes to a screeching halt. The right side damaged up beyond repair, and that transmission might have just gone with it. Oh man, that 12 Valvoline machine, new driver coming out here tonight, unfortunately got put to a sudden screeching halt. And remember what I just said earlier about if Taylor can get that little caution to come out. Well, I think that might have just been it, but let's take a look at the replay and find out what happened here. Well, even though it looked like a little bit of a glitch on their end, actually there was contact definitely made. David Castelli just barely tagging the 12 of Billy Milner and sends him for the ride. He'll head into pit road, so will Kyle Hanna. Sikosi, very interesting strategy. He's staying out. I'm not sure what is going to be the strategy there, but he stays out right now, and I don't know if that's going to be a smart move on his end or if he's really trying to save a very, 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 very long run here. That is going to be a very interesting dilemma here. But nevertheless, we've seen crazier things happen around here. Brian W. Wiggins will get his lap back and get things fixed on in, and we will see our drivers get back around here and get things figured on out. See if we can get this one into the cleaners and get this one figured in here a little bit. Still a lot of laps remaining, still a lot of runs to be had here, and there is no gimmies around here. So as the drivers come on back around, getting things figured on in, again, thank you everybody that has tuned on in with us, that has worked, that continues to support up here on the show, and it looks like they are going in pit road, so they were just waiting a lap to get that figured in. That will play into the advantage though for guys like Kyle Hanna and them, because they were the ones that stayed out or went in earlier. It's going to be interesting to see how this one comes to be, but right now Kyle Hanna will take the race lead over. And again, just want to thank you to all the folks out there that support us on in, give us some love and support here. And thank you again to everybody that's helped us out when it came to our studio issues. You all know who you are, and we do really appreciate you guys for helping us out and getting things fixed up. Trust me when I say it there, folks, we had a lot, and I mean a lot of hard work and dedication put in just to even get this streams up, get these things going. So again, to everyone at home that's helped us out and that they know who they are, thank you so much. We do appreciate all that. And we hope we can make up for it for everyone at home that has missed out on our races, missed out on our stuff. We're definitely willing to give you guys more stuff going down, and we can't wait to also showcase a little bit more coming your way here in the future. There's a lot of stuff to come by here, folks. So as the field works on by right now, everyone's still challenging him in. All the field coming around, ready to get back underway here, and looks like they are going to do just that as we're about ready to double file back up, which means the pace lights will go down, and that means our standings will go down for just a brief moment as we get the cars ready to go and ready to ship them on back on in right now. Works it in. Drivers coming around here, ready to back them on by and give themselves a fighting chance here to move the chains on in and see how this one plays out here. Out of turn 3, down into we go out of turn 4. Race fans, time to get back down to business. Get your cameras up, fly them high right now. The drivers are back underway. Here we go. Back through right down out of turn 3, down in turn 1, down turn 2. And Mark Sikosi already moving the chains, moving them in pretty hard down that back straightaway, maybe looking for a run here. Nicholas Wilson to the inside zone, trying to hold him off, trying to not keep him away from his teammate. But Sikosi plays strong, plays it in tight here, moves him in back really hard here, starting to move in hard as he can down around that corner zone. See See the battles that is coming between Kyle Hanna right now. You've got the onboard camera of him, and you can see Sikosi. It's just absolutely tearing it up. Trying to work him through and give himself a run here as he has to downshift in. Does Hanna. Sikosi comes to his comeuppance and he gets a big move there, but here comes Johnny Taylor in that number 3 Goodrich service machine. Starting to move the field back in, run them in hard here. Remember what I said earlier, those teammates, they've set those cars up together, they help get things figured out together, so you know Taylor is as fast as Sikosi, and maybe even a little bit more if the time comes, but right now Taylor, if he's going to catch his teammate, he's got to make his move around Hanna. He gets to the inside, challenges in, works that extreme bottom line in, manages to make it stick, or does he out of turn 2? Sparks fly, fireworks are showing off there. Car takes a huge lick on the front right. Passenger side there on the front end there gets a big lick and a half and took a nice little damage, but it seems to not have affected him at all. Continues to move the chains. Impressive. Great driving on their end and great battles all the way through, but I'll tell you one thing right now, folks, there is still a lot of time left, and the Butcher brothers right now are facing each other off rather than try to race their way through in this one. Well, they'll hold them on by, though, and give themselves a little bit of a momentum kick here and a little time on down. Into the zone they go here. They are still in a hot pursuit of one another right now as the field works it in. You can see in the back straightaway here right now, currently the way that's going. They got the 24 Dave Castelli working in there. Tyler Hunt currently trying to stay ahead of him and trying to keep his 7th spot up. As the field works him through down around yet again. You see how far Johnny Taylor's starting to run away though from the field, and Mark Sikosi, well, he's already a good chunk and a half away from the leaders here. Round about out of turn 3, down into turn 4 here. This unique layout track, as the Marauder had mentioned earlier, it's a flatter surface to Darlington. It's pretty much the best way to put it. It's a flat Darlington. But the thing is that it works so well and it plays out so uniquely that it actually helps them out more towards the run that they need to keep the power, keep them going here. And right now, currently, the way they're starting to move this one in, it's starting to get more and more like the Sikosi and Taylor show when all is said and done here. Right back on around right now, still firing away here on all 4 cylinders, trying to give themselves a little bit of a run here. Or would that be all 6 cylinders? Sometimes I swear I can't tell anymore. But nevertheless here, Kyle Hanna still up on the 3rd spot, currently trying to gain ground on Johnny Taylor. Nicholas Wilson now moving to the inside zone. Looking for a run here. Moves it in, swipes it down out of turn 3, down into turn 4 here. Can Kyle retain? He can't out of turn 4 here. He's not got the momentum. Wilson carries the power and now looks to challenge him in. Trying to stay ahead of his teammate here. That shift there as they were coming down that straight there. They had to get back into the gear there, trying to get the car to take a set. And that's really what they've been trying to deal with all night long on that little turn and on that little area, that little stretch there. They've got to be aware of that, kind of filter them in, try to build up the momentum, try to stay within that zone of line of sight. And a little bit of problems there out of turn 1. The Wilson just takes a hard lick in the wall, and the whole front end has just completely ripped off on that car there. The whole filter and everything is exposed. And you gotta wonder now that has happened, will that be the key factor that sets him back quite a ways? He's not gonna get much aerodynamics out of that car now. That car is completely toast up, and he's getting right there in it with Kruger. Kruger and him almost sideswiped each other down out of turn 3 there. Manages to stay clear of it, manages to stay out of that problem zone. Kruger, though, is having all sorts of rich graphic gremlins on his end tonight, or internet insects, we've also now referred to him as. Just continues to keep messing with him, but right now he's trying desperately to give a little bit of a nightmare zone fuel for that 53 of Wilson, his teammate. and him going back at it, but somehow Wilson, man, he's just staying ahead of the field. Despite the fact that that filter in the front end is completely exposed, the car is hanging in there, is running through to the best of his abilities. But right behind him there is that 24 of David Castelli. Castelli right now starting to move the field in, starting to move him by right now. Moving through the round out. Whoa, look out, look out. Woohoo. Whoa, that turn 2. That seems to be tricky turn 2 tonight. Almost took another victim, and that would have been Nicholas Wilson. But David Castelli managing to back off. Smart driving and good race awareness there to move out of that zone and out of the way when the time came, but maybe not so much down out of turn 4. Look out! Oh! Right down out of turn 4, right into the wall. Hard spin and a half there for Castelli. Well, right there, man, he came out of turn 4 there, and unfortunately that car couldn't take a set. And the affordable STO Bud Light and machine number 24, huge damage up on that machine, and that's definitely setting him back a ways. Johnny Taylor right now currently moving the chains again. Billy Milner, man, this cat unfortunately, oh man, out of turn 1. Can't catch it right. That car will not stick, and it just continues to go right into the wall protection there. And it just cannot go where he wants it to play at. And it's definitely showing here as we are down to our final 80 laps here. Or 90 laps, excuse me. Mark Sikosi has the race lead, and as you look at our top 5 at the moment, that's really the difference that's been making. That's the way it's been playing out right now. And when we come back, we will see if they will be able to hold out and outwit and outpace the other here. A lot of runs to go, a lot of battles to be had. Who will be the driver to outpace and outwit the other, and will anyone at anything to challenge up for Mark Sikosi? We'll find out when we return here to P10 Racing TV. Well, tonight's race sponsored in part by, of course, Affordable SEO and Marketing. It's time you outrank your competition online today, and by FEGPC.net, and a word from them as we speak.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they start their sim racing journey. I search high and low for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at FEGPC.net.
As we return to the action here right now, we've got problems there right as we return, spin out of turn 2 there. Kyle Milliken goes for a ride and a half there. Let's show the PTM instant replay here and find out what happened exactly. Looks like Milliken was trying to get out as quick as he could around, and unfortunately Billy Milner was kind of in his way, but definitely wasn't going to settle him back a little bit, and ends up going for a spin there out of turn 2, which calls for the caution to come out. So now the field will have to re-rack, restack, and all that here, and that may have just been the kill blow that Sikosi was not looking for because he was running away from his teammate Johnny Taylor there. Definitely going to be a little bit of an interesting one here, to say the least, here to see how this plays out for the drivers. There is definitely not a lot of time left remaining, or a lot of area play. They've got to just kind of start tempering it back just a little bit and kind of focusing in a little more. Field working in right now, starting to get things built back in here, starting to get things taken care of here. We'll see if this all comes play out here and all comes down to the wire here. Still a lot of time left here on the show, and a lot of time left in the field here to get things more situated through and really worked in. But as you can tell, it's been mainly the Sikosi show so far that has just been absolutely tearing it up and just absolutely playing into what he needs to do. And it looks like most of the field's going into pit road. Easy there, Taylor. You gotta be a little careful about that. You can't quite just send everybody into the zone there and get them into trouble area. Kyle Hanna says to stay out a little longer here. That'll be an interesting strategy, to say at least, on what he's got planned. It's hard to say really what's going to be his game plan here. The way things have been playing out so far, it's been just a matter of patience and timing, and that's kind of been the biggest problem right now for him and everything else. So as we bring things back to normal, back down the run and into the zone, folks, we will see our drivers work their way on in and really challenge up the positions and challenge up the runs. A lot of time at stake here, a lot of stuff going down right now. Just try to figure this one on in. Been a lot of heated battles here all the course of the series here, and of course a lot of battles here that have been extramental in a lot of other ways. But you know, tonight these guys are really trying to showcase what they can do here at the WTT Raceway, or WWT Raceway, Worldwide Technology Raceway, for anyone that is confused on what that title means exactly. As field now brings it back around here, Milner and Milliken are going to go ahead and get their last back, which will give the drivers time to re-rack and re-stack and all that. As they come across down around the back straightaway, the lights are starting to come down and they're starting to close in. As we get them back in closer to the timing zone into the run, they will build them back on by, give themselves a fighting chance here. A lot of stuff to come on around here, a lot of timing and all that to hit them by. Time will definitely be the key factor here, and moments like this will definitely be the run as they come across here. The green flag flies. We are back underway. And James, don't call him Freddy Krueger in that 25, starting to challenge him in a little bit, get some runs going for himself. He's got Nicholas Wilson in his inside right now, trying to keep his teammate in the zone right now. The other teammates, though, the Extreme Motorsports boys, a little bit behind the field right now. This might be the opening. Kyle Hanna needs to try to stay ahead of him for a little time or two. We're not quite halfway there just yet, but this is starting to really look closer and closer like the show for them. But as they come in a turn four, whoa! Krueger getting on the outside line, gets a little loose there, loses all his momentum. gets put in the back and loses it going to the outhouse. And once again, as usual here, Sikosi tonight just seems to just know how to play this track into his advantage, moving in the corners and moving in the turns. He seems like he's putting more off those corners than he is on the straights there, actually. That's how much power he's got under that car, it seems like, tonight, but he's just got it dialed in just right. Remember, these are custom setups, folks, so they set them up a certain way, a certain style. Yeah, right now, currently, the way things are going at it here, it's just been more and less of the fact that Wilson has been able to not really get the runs he wants or the power he needs, and Sikosi has just been absolutely tearing it up out there the whole day. Johnny Taylor, though, is right behind him and finally starting to make ground up after lap 1 issues. Kyle Hanna really seeming like after those tires, the way they're set in, he's just kind of laying into them a little bit more here, trying to build up the power. But here comes Sikosi, the inside, out of turn 4. Builds it on in right now. Sikosi trying to get some cornering in there, trying to build up the power, gets it around, out of turn 1. Side by side they take it. Both drivers really working them in. Back him on by right now. Everyone's still fielding him on in, still giving themselves a pretty good chance and a half here. Mistakes here, of course. Art Mill saying, great job, Chris. As always, see you next week. Great to have you on board here, bud. Glad to have you on by once again. Mark Sikosi there in that number 8, still trying to move the chains here and trying to get something going. Johnny Taylor, though, starting to move in behind him. Might have something going for him here. We'll see if that comes back here later on, but right now he's still working it through. Field works him in right now currently. Everything's still going in pretty well. Everything's still looking pretty solid as can be. A lot of timing, a lot of area to play here. And of course right now, the way things have been going here, Tyler Hunt and Johnny Taylor, that's a familiar sight out of turn 2 there. That was earlier on in the race there, but they did not connect that time. Everything's still working through their momentum and their advantage here right now. You got the teams right here all in the same area, same zone. Hunt, Wilson, and Hanna, the Butcher brothers. And then you got, of course, Sikosi and Taylor, the Team Extreme Motorsports guys. Remember, Hunt used to be with Team Extreme Motorsports. He changed that up, I believe, not too long ago. I think it was about a month and a half ago is when they switched over in position. And ever since then, it's been a changing of the guard for those drivers and been a change in position. And Wilson right now desperately trying to stay ahead there. Sikosi's giving it all he can, build him on in. Throw him on by right now. And folks, if you do hear us kind of going in and out a little bit, just understand that we're taking a breather here or two when we talk. We got a message privately from one of our producers, and I told him flat out, well, that's because I've let my voice rest a second or two. We can't call all the action right out of the hot gate. It's not dirt track racing, it's asphalt racing. You got to pace yourself here. Right out of turn 2, though. Nicholas Wilson still staying ahead of the zone here. Sikosi running him in pretty hard here, stabilizing the spot. Also, folks, if you haven't already and haven't seen, we do have our shirt store up. We have a clothing line as well. I've already purchased up all my stuff and all my equipment and everything I need to get ready for every race, every day out on the track. I've got all my pedal to metal stuff and some piles wrap stuff included, but of course, I wouldn't do the shirts and all that. I wouldn't do any of the clothing line without some PTN Racing TV stuff. So, of course, I picked up quite a bit there, and hope you guys are going to catch all that and see all that later on. But for now, though, be sure to check out the website and pick up some merch here today. A lot of great stuff there, folks. Right on about out of turn 3, down in turn 4 here. Sikosi to the inside. Wilson tries to defend out of turn 4 here. Can't quite clear him there. Sikosi and Wilson, man, these two just continue to lay into one another, not giving an inch or not trying to give any chances up. But the problem is Sikosi's not getting the power or that run anymore that he had earlier. Now I'm wondering, is he trying to save the car for a long run? Is he trying to save time up? If you look at the lap time right now, Johnny Taylor, well, let's just say he's catching up pretty quick here right now. He's starting to really build some momentum around. But then if you look at what Nicholas Wilson's got right now going for himself and the way he's been playing it, he's not exactly getting Sikosi off his tail end here, and that seems to be the case here. Sikosi looking for some fresh air, looking for some clean air, looking it through, corner off. Does he have the run this time? He's got the half-quarter panel. Can he move the chains? Moves it through, down about out of back straight away. No, he cannot get the chains to work through his way there. Kyle Hanna right now, you're going to see on the lap counter here, bit of a seismic difference between him and Wilson. That's really because right now those two continue to battle at it pretty hard here, but Hanna is not running away from this one no more. Everybody spot up right now. It's currently Sikosi, man, give him credit where credit's due. Sikosi is not giving an inch here to Wilson, but Wilson not giving any inches back. That's solid racing. That's what we like to see here on the show. Good stuff here. As you see a big puff of smoke there, a cloud of smoke there, that usually means somebody's coming out of pit road, and in this case that's Billy Milner coming out of pit road there. He actually had a little bit of a spin around, it appears. So he had to come to a stop and get it configured on in, and now he's got it back underway here. But right now, folks, as you see the battle here coming down that front straightaway, hard runs and battles coming once again. These guys going absolutely haywire here to hold off one another. Building on around, side by side, contact, not quite made there, but it was going upwards, so I didn't have to worry about it. That's Sikosi down the inside. Wilson tries to defend him off, and side by side they take it. Sikosi can't quite get the run. He had the power earlier, but now it seems like he's completely slowed up on that end. But Kyle Hanna's not running away with this anymore here, folks. I think Kyle Hanna might have lost a lot of ground and time up there. This is a pretty solid battle here. You got 5 drivers that can easily take home the second spot and maybe even the lead. Given the right circumstances, the right opportunity, Johnny Taylor's just waiting for an opening, waiting for a position. Hunt kind of doing the same. But Sikosi and Wilson, they're definitely the two that have been putting on a show here. But Sikosi now lost a lot of ground out of turn 2 there. 2 teammates going at it here. The Team Extreme Motorsports boys going to have to fight their way in, try to stay out of that problem area there, out of turn 4. They clear it there, keep it good, nice and solid running here as they're coming on by once again. Now still side by side for that 3rd spot. Sikosi, ooh, close enough, building momentum. Can he push it forward and get the chains moved in? He's got Tyler Hunt running that side as well here. Building them on around. Drivers still trying to challenge this one in, still giving it all they can. Johnny Taylor maybe thinking it's time to get around his teammate and just make some moves for himself here. He was the number 1 qualifier going into tonight's race, and while in my opinion would be the number 1 seed in general, other than the fact that Nicholas Wilson is your points leader right now. Fighting him on in, around out of turn 2 here. These drivers giving it all they've got, giving it everything they can. Tyler on the hunt, the number 20 machine, trying to fight their way in, trying to battle them on by here. Right back him on by here out of turn 2. Bobble there by Sikosi. And Sikosi. The door opens wide there. And now you see Johnny Taylor makes the move. This is the first major mistake we've seen out of Sikosi tonight. Tyler Hunt right now is starting to make his prowl, make his presence felt, making the move. He is definitely on the hunt for the race lead, but he's got time to make up and time to get it around here. Can he hold him on by? Hard to imagine, but there's so much going at stake here between these drivers, and now they got to find a way to not clear a 3 wide slip. Wow, out of turn 2. Milner, and that's 12. Oh, he gets into the wall there. Johnny Taylor goes for the ride. Caution's out. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Johnny Taylor out of turn 2. gets sideswiped and taken for a ride. And even though that was definitely not intentional, let's find out what happened here. Watch Milner on the bottom, on the top left of your screen here. Watch this. Now you're probably wondering at home, wait a minute, why did he go straight left like that and not try to back off the corner, try to let the drivers by? Here's the thing, with these cars, the way they're set up, it's easier said than done to get off that line and off that zone. When you're stuck in that wall, it's literally, you're stuck. Trying to get off it, it's like trying to rip wax paper right off your skin. It's not gonna feel good. It hurts like absolute you know what. And yeah, Milner, the right side of that car, absolutely tore up. The front end is just completely damaged up. He can't even, look at that, man. He can't even get the thing turned in straight. That's how damaged up it is. Ouch, ouch, and what's that other word? Oh yeah, that's right. Ouch. So now the drivers will field them back in, get things figured on by, and I gotta believe Johnny Taylor's not a happy camper right now. But if you're the Billy Milner camp right now, I would say you probably are hurting a little bit because that car's got to get fixed up and repaired quickly. We'll see if he has instant repair still left in that machine. Judging by how long it is taking, he should have had it fixed up by now. I am not seeing an instant repair done up. I think he might have used up all of his two there. If that is the case, that is going to be a very tough break for Mr. Milner. Kyle Hanna right now, after that little stumble there and after that race there, I think he's got to be pretty happy that currently the way field is working in, things coming by right now. He's in the driver's seat. So the field will get back underway here and we'll get things taken care of here. And we will see how this all plays out here for these drivers and how everything comes by and around. It's just been solid runs and solid racing all the way through and just absolutely barn burner action here at its finest. A lot of stuff going down. There is no room for error, that is for sure. There's definitely no room for mistakes when it comes to these battles here from these drivers, but the way it's been settling in, the way things have been playing in, man, it's just looking more and more like this can be anybody's race and more anybody's situation. But, you know, the way things are going right now, there's going to be a lot of time and a lot of stuff going down there as well to try to hang by. Field, working it on in, working them on by. Everyone's still trying to get this one figured in. Double filed up, re-rack, restacked, and all that. Lights are coming off here. Time for some action to come by here, folks. Race fans, we're not done just yet. We still got some laps to complete. Here we go, back underway. And off that line, that was the run there that Mark Sarkozy needed. He already got a big jump there on Wilson. Wilson's trying to catch back up. He knows Hannah's in trouble. Sarkozy to the inside. Hannah can't quite get it. Trying to get a grip, trying to build momentum back in, but Sarkozy is already just laid into this one. Moving the chains on in right now. The 53 of Nicholas Wilson doing everything he can. Fighting his way on in, trying to hang by here, stay with that zone, stay with that run. Tyler is on the hunt for this one. We've got one guy that's in Team Extreme and Fury right, and then 4 others that are the Butcher brothers looking to catch him on in. You're looking to fight their way to the top zone here tonight. Moving the chains down right now. We are still got a good amount of laps left here. And there is definitely no room for error, especially if your name is Johnny Taylor right now after that little hustle he had earlier with Milner. Trying to gain ground and build momentum in. Currently he's still in pit road getting fixed up. I think the car might be done for the night. Tyler on the hunt, trying to fight his way up and trying to get back up to that top spot. He had a run earlier with Sarkozy. He wasn't quite able to get it going back away, but now, right now, as you see the field moving through, you can see a bit of a seismic difference in how it was earlier. You saw the faster guys having to fight their way to get around folks and trying to get back in here, but now, that's the complete opposite. Running back on in right now. A pretty good camera view of what Kyle Hanna's having to deal with right now with his teammate there right behind him. Moving it through right now, starting to fight their way in. David Castelli looks like he's got problems here. He's got major problems. Coming to a screeching halt there. I'm not sure what happened there exactly. Let's go to the replay. Comes by around, out of turn 2. Spins it, spins it, spins it. Save it. Kruger barely avoids it. Wiggins gets out of the way in time, and Castelli loses all his ground and momentum, but he manages to stay out of there. Yeah, you can see those tires spinning around pretty hard there. Caution has been called there. So now the field will have to work their way in, and you get a good overhead view of this camera here right now. See how the drivers are all fighting their way in and dealing with these positions here as they desperately try to get something going here, try to get things figured on in once again. So running back in right now currently, and the way it's looking, Tyler Hunt, Sarkozy, Anna, Johnny Taylor are all going into pit road here. This is how it originally was though before they started going in there earlier on. This is how they were kind of figuring to fit this one on in. They were trying to set this one up for a little bit of a later run, a little bit of a run and a half here, but now the tide has changed, and will it change for the worse or for the better depending on your situation? I'll find out here right now as they go into pit road here, getting things fixed on in. A lot of battles and a lot of runs to say the least here, and no time left to make mistakes or no time to give when it comes to their battles here. Now the field right now ready to corner and back in, start getting momentum back their way. See how well this plays out here. A lot of battles and a lot of runs here from all these drivers out here tonight, man. They have been giving it everything they can and just trying to fight their way in. the driver to outwit and outpace the other? Who will be the one to finish this one out? Well, not really sure in this case, and not really figuring who will be the one to take this one to the cleaners, because there's just been so many battles and so much stuff going down there. It's hard to imagine, but man, it's definitely been a lot of work here. So the field works it in right now, folks. Everyone coming to a standstill here. Get things fixed on back in. And Brian W. Wiggins now will enter into the fray here. He'll be in that top spot here. We'll see how long, and how well that will work out for him. He's got a lot of work to do here, though. That's for sure. He's got a lot of tough hitters, a lot of tough competitors here. And it's been a while since we have seen Wiggins in that top spot. Been so long ago, but you know, give him credit where credit's due. He's always been one of those guys that's been kind of chasing on the hunt and really fighting his way in there. Round and about, coming down out of turn 4. Will Wiggins have the run and give him the power here? We'll see here as they move the field in. Driver set, ready to go. Coming down around that front straightaway here. They charge it in. Lights come back on. It is green flag racing once more. Off the line through the chicane, and Wiggins. Yeah, right there, man, out of turn 2. Already looking pretty solid there. Can he hold the momentum, though, because he's got Johnny Taylor coming into sight. Taylor moving in, moving the chains, and I think that's what he was looking for. Wiggins desperately trying to cling on, trying to hold him off, but he is a teammate there, and he's not able to keep that momentum back around. Johnny Taylor started in the first qualifying spot, but out of that first lap, he had problems there, getting spun by Hunt, by a little routine racing style area there, but hard racing he had. He got sent for the ride, and right now Wiggins now trying to hold off some other drivers right now behind him as David Castelli moving his way through the field. The chain starting to go through for the 24th. That Bud Light camo machine right now fighting his way in, moving it in hard here. Kyle Hanna side by side there. Brian W. Wiggins going to work here as they back him on down. Runs more out of turn 4. And a little bit of a run gap zone, but Wiggins with a bump to Hanna. Go, no! Hard lick and a half sent to the right and sent for a little bit of a power struggle there. Holy smokes. Oh, man. Wiggins out of turn 4, just ends up clipping the inside there of Hanna. Unfortunately, that completely just messed up everything else there. Getting their angle of it. Looks like Wiggins just barely got loose. Tags Hanna. Sikosi takes a hard lick and a half. That front end just took some damage hit, and you can see Hanna right there, man. Just turned that wheel in. He's just trying to get the car set back up, but damage has been done. And right about now, I would probably not want to beat Brian W. Wiggins. Just saying. I mean, these guys definitely are respectful of one another. Everyone knows how each other race, but that was definitely not the run that I think either one of them was looking for there. You can see the 24 David Castelli run end on the hood. There comes back down finally. Managed to get it somewhat figured out. But damage is definitely going to be telling the tale here. We'll see who is able to get out of here there. Tyler Hunt right now, if I got to believe, he's going to be the guy to catch if Taylor can't get a good run here. Well, he gets out of there, and Johnny Taylor gets the run he's looking for. Looks like Hunt stays out a little longer. Might be doing something there. Sikosi and Wiggins getting out at about the same time, but it's going to be Sikosi taking this one over. So now it's going to be a really hot battle there on the start between the teammates. See if how it plays out and later on. That's the thing, folks. There's so much at stake between these drivers and between all around the field. Now, a lot of folks out here just desperately want to try to outwit and outpace the other and claim their victory, but and it's just been more of a who can survive and who can do what here in their cases and their situations. Laps are starting to come into a factor here and really starting to play in. And that's definitely been a key note for a lot of folks around here, and definitely been a lot more of a struggle to really keep their runs in their zones here. So we'll see if they're able to keep it in field position, in territory. But yeah, this right now it's just been a hard run to have for them. So we will back him around once again here. So as we back them on around once again, field coming to a standstill. Field still trying to insert their momentum, insert their area here. As now we are back, stacked, 3 racks, and all that as usual. They will come around out of turn 2. The lights will go down for the gridding. They will bring it on through, and then it will be time for show. It's time for the show to continue. Right now as we speak, it's a bit of a change up right now. Johnny Taylor is your race leader. Sakosi, though, is on the outside line. That is going to be a big factor, in my opinion, on the start. If Sakosi cannot get the run there out of the gate and Taylor manages to get ahead of him just by a little bit, I can guarantee you what Sakosi's going to try to do is he's going to try to sneak back in that inside line, and then it's just going to be a war between who's going to outwit and outpace the other in the teammate zone. Time is running down. Time is going away here, folks. The field ready to come at it here and ready to field them on by. And of course, and apparently the producers forgot to turn one thing off and forgot to switch it up a little bit. Running them on by down around here, out of turn 4 here. The field works back in. Green flag flies. We're back underway here, folks. Running down the chains, running down the field right now. Currently, we're starting to lose a little bit of gap in time. Zokosi there out of turn 2, gets into the wall protection. Caution is called yet again. 6th caution of the race here, and looks like there are some problems for Castelli there. It looks like he had a little bit of a problem on that start. Yellow lights are on, yellow lights are out, and currently in the field right now you can see where they're at right now and how they're charging in this position here. Desperately just trying to cling on to whatever they can here and try to hang by here. On a brighter note, I can say this much right now, currently our new studio is holding up quite well, so thanks again to the producers and everyone that helps out with that part. Do appreciate you guys helping us get this thing back up and running, especially the way times are these days. We need to keep this gravy train with biscuit wheels rolling around here, my friends. So now the field getting ready to come back around for a little bit more momentum, a little bit more power under their hoods, and try to see who will be able to outwit and outpace the other here. But right now, Johnny Taylor will be the guy to beat. On the next restart zone again. the big development here on the first going, it was Hunt and Taylor. They got into each other. Hunt ends up taking over the lead. Then he loses it to Sikosi. Sikosi takes a hard run and a half there and kind of stays in position. Now the second half comes around. All of a sudden, tides have changed. Johnny Taylor and Kyle Hanna move their way into position. They start to fight and scratch and claw their way into their runs and in their zones. And that's where everything's been kind of playing out since then. Been a matter of who's going to be able to outwit and outpace the other and make sure they stay out of that trouble zone. But as of late here, it's been just a matter of survival and key here. And right now you can definitely see how it's been working to their advantage and how it's been working for their fight here. So the driver's working around now once again here. We are coming down to the wire when it comes to laps, comes down to time zones as well here. It's been absolutely a kind of a long run race and a long hard haul, but I can say this right now. The old school boys are definitely back at it in that full force. And it is good to see them in that zone and in that situation. But will they have enough to finish this one out and really strengthen them up in their momentum? That is going to be the big thing here that I think a lot of us are looking to get it. Move the field around, move the chains on in, folks. And now this time by, it looks like we're going to go to back to re-rack, restack, and all that, and finish this one out here. No time to give, no time to lose, and no time and all to gain here on this restart. We'll see if there's going to be enough here for Johnny Taylor to stay ahead of Wilson, or maybe Tyler Hunter or James Kruger have something for him there. Either way, all we can say is expect the unexpected and expect some crazy finishes. If the tide comes and the tide changes here, you know there's always something here that happens. Running it back around the back straight away here. Field works them on by. We're ready to get back down to racing here now as we start to close up this chapter and close up the race series. It is time to go big or go home. Old School League will come around out of turn 3 and 4 this time by. Watch very carefully for that start because that can really set up the pace and set the momentum and set the tone. We'll work on around out of turn 4. Johnny Taylor looking for the spot, looking for the run. He's got it off that line and on down the start. The green flag flies. Now comes the big part. What will happen in turn 1 and 2? Taylor tries to hold the momentum, tries to build it through. Wilson on the offensive, already moving the chains on in. Not quite able to get around Taylor though. Taylor starting to run away. Running a pretty solid line, a pretty solid momentum pace here. You can see Byron Bartlett though in that 77 machine starting to make a little bit of a comeback as they go 3 wide, almost 4 wide there out of turn 4. 3 wide down that front straightaway here. They hold the line, hold a position. Bartlett tries to stay out of that zone. Wiggins backs off, lets Sikosi through. Didn't want to give him a rumble and a tumble. That's a 24 there. David Castelli to the outside, trying to hang there right about. Give credit where credit's due to Byron Bartlett for trying to hang in with him, trying to focus their way in that zone, but you can see the zone right now is looking more towards Sikosi once again as they back him on around. Almost all of the Butcher boys are after one Extreme Motorsports boy. This is starting to look more and more like a show and a half here. Throw him on down around turn 2 here. Big battle here between second place drivers, Nicholas Wilson and Tyler Hunt. Hunt looking to the inside, looking for a run, looking for a little bit of a move zone here. He corners off, lets Wilson kind of run in a little harder because he knows he's going to corner off a little bit better off the exit. Or is he now? Because Kruger sees a little bit of a bobble from Hunt, and now that might have just been the opening that Kruger has been looking for all day long. Laps winding down here, folks. Got him up on our final 30 here to go. Field worked them on down around here, starting to build them on by here. Everyone in a hot pursuit, a hot battle here. No time to be making mistakes now, that is for sure. Tyler Hunt doing everything he can to try to get around Wilson, to get up there with Johnny Taylor, moving his in, down out of turn 2 there. I think, in my opinion, Hunt's got a better turn 2 than Wilson, but the problem is Wilson seems to get a better turn 3 and 4. So what does that mean exactly? Well, Hunt's been setting up more for the short turn than he has that long turn. And there's one thing that's really easy to do and really difficult to master. It's really setting up for both turns, especially like right there. As you saw right out of turn 4 there, Hunt gets into the wall protection, and don't look now, but right behind him is his old teammate, Sakosi. Starting to reel and deal his way in here out of turn 2, though. Not giving any chances up, not giving many positions here. Hunt just really trying to move it in, trying to stay in that area, line of sight. Sakosi, though, I think he's got different ideas right now. I think he's just waiting for those boys to keep messing with each other so he can just start to climber away and get up there with that old 3 machine. Johnny Taylor right now is not out of the woods yet, that's for sure. You're on board here with Sakosi. You see the run that he's carrying through here and starting to build by. Chris stay on the onboard camera here for a little bit with him as you see him trying to hang through and trying to get the momentum going. And you can see how he sets that turn up, sets the corner up. Really trying to just let the car take a set and keeping momentum alive there. Bit of a bump there in the wall protection there for Tyler Hunt, moves him back a little bit, but a little bit of an opening there from Wilson as well, seizes an opportunity, but Hunt not able to capitalize on it. Some hard runs and some hard racing all the way through, but right now the way things have been going, it's just been a tight battle to try to figure out how to hang by and get these corner zones in. That's what's really been about here tonight. That's what's really been a struggle to kind of master up. Throw him on through right now. Mark Sakosi there right behind Hunt, starting to challenge him in yet again. This is your hot battle for third here. Top 3 podium wise. That'll definitely mean something for both drivers here, but currently the way it's setting, Sakosi is starting to reel and deal his way in here, starting to move it in now. Hunt there on the outside line, working it on in the inside here. Sakosi looking for a bit of a run and a half here. Field works it on by now. Sakosi still trying to clamor a little more momentum around there. Hunt doing everything he can to keep him down there. Can't quite get him out of turn 2 though. Running him on by right now. Sakosi, you can say he's a man on a mission right now because he is just fighting his way up to the spots and up into the zone. Trying to get up to that once predominant top of the mountain. We are coming up on Martin Luther King Jr. Day here soon, so I guess you could say he is looking to get to the mountain. He sees the peak of the mountain. Rest in peace to Martin Luther King, by the way. Right on bow here out of the back straightaway down to turn 3, down into turn 4 here. Tyler Hunt moving it through here, starting to move the chains on by as everyone still clamors into position zone. Moving them on by as the change starts to come around here once more. Down out of turn 2 here, Nicholas Wilson, current points leader right now, and one of the top guys in his division, and especially with his team, trying to showcase what he can do and how he can hang with them. But he is still desperately just dealing with all the power and momentum that's going around these corners and in those zones here. As you can see, Sikosi starting to really work his way in now, build up the power, build up the run. Coming down, out, up, turn 1 into 2. And Wilson looks like he is starting to gain up on Taylor, but the problem is Sikosi gained up on him as well here. Right around that front straightaway, and low look now, but here comes Sikosi back to the inside. Wilson trying to hang by, keep him on his tail end there. Can he keep him through? Can he keep it clear? Can he keep it clean? He does, but right now it's currently Sikosi that wants a piece of the pie here. He's got Wilson in his sights. Will he get him out around turn 3 into 4? Trying to fight his way in, trying to style the moment. He's got the momentum now, moving it through down that back on the front straightaway. Coming right into your living room now as they move the chains on in. Hard run and battle there. Once again, these drivers giving it all they've got here, but Sikosi just desperately needs to get around Wilson to get up to his teammate Taylor. Time is elapsing and laps are winding down. He is starting to get further and further into trouble zone and into the area. Back out of turn 4 once again, and now Mark Sikosi has regained position, regained the spots, and 26 laps to go now. This is starting to look more and more like a Team Extreme Motorsports showdown. Will that be the case though? Because the way, if you're looking at right now, if you're in the Johnny Taylor camp, you're thinking, last guy I want to see is the guy that's behind me. That's Mark Sikosi. The irony is that's his teammate too, so I mean that doesn't help you out very much either, now does it? But nevertheless, down on the front straightaway, here they go. Trying to hang by, trying to keep the chains clear, moving it through. Sikosi desperately needs to get a little bit of that cleaner air in if he wants to really run away from the field here. One again, it just seems like he's been running it harder than everybody else tonight and really staying in that zone, but I'll be honest with you guys, I feel like he might have had a little bit less of a run and terror in there than some other folks around here as of late. But you can see though the move's running in a little bit harder here. Now Sikosi looking at that inside zone. He's got a corner panel on that 3 machine. Sikosi clings it in. Can he reel the win in? Reel the big fish in there? No. Taylor says forget about that. We're going to put up a fight. Woo, like any good bass on the lake right now, Taylor is putting up the fight to save his life. Trying to hold it out, trying to stay in there. Sikosi giving it all he's got. Almost clutches out of turn 4 there, but gets backed off, and that will open the door up for Taylor to now run the field in and run him in a little harder here. You can see time-wise right now, that was definitely a little bit of a gain in zone for Wilson. Wilson desperately trying to get his time back. They're trying to get something figured in for him and himself right now. And a bobble there from Sikosi out of turn 2. That might have been just what Johnny Taylor was looking for here to stay ahead and keep the chains alive. He has been running him in with the best of them tonight for sure, but does he have the power? Does he have the momentum to stay with this one and run him in as hard as he can here? Still time will tell right now. Currently, Nicholas Wilson got his eye on the field and got his eye on that spot right now that Sikosi and Taylor are going to work on about right now. Whoa, out of turn 2, you heard him had a gear shift in. And that just slowed him down way beyond belief. Tyler Hunt moving down the back straightaway, moving on the outside line. Wilson and him going at it here as they continue him through. Back on down, round out of turn 4 here. Tyler Hunt doing all he's got, doing everything he can. Trying to stay in that zone once again. Dak on by here once more out of turn 1, down in turn 2 here. The 3 of Johnny Taylor giving it all he's got to keep ahead of Sakosi. Sakosi, though, man, just continues to put up a fight for his championship here. He wants to make it into the playoffs. He wants to make it into the top 4 seed to make it into that final race when the time comes. And right now, remember, they've only got a few more months left before they get to that. And then it's going to be game on from there. Field works in around turn 1, down turn 2. Here's Sakosi now maybe making for the optimism move, trying to build it in. Taylor and him still side by side, neither one giving an inch here. How about this, folks? If you want to talk about hard racing, hard battles, and no quit. Ah, but out of turn 3 to 4, Sakosi sends Johnny Taylor for the ride. Deja vu on a different side of the track. Oh my. Well, we're going to go to the PTM Instant Replay and figure out that one, but I'll tell you right now, that is going to definitely hurt for Johnny Taylor here. Let's see, it just looks like he just came down a little bit too much, and unfortunately, had nowhere to go. Nowhere to go and nowhere to be, and unfortunately, that ended up sending him for the ride. Get a better idea here from their camera angle here, and you see the just kind of a little slight damage, and then spun it on by there, and unfortunately that car had nowhere to go except just kind of spun out. Mark Sakosi will go back into pit road. You can see Terry Ducky staying out there, as well as Kyle Milliken, or excuse me, Kyle Hanna, I should say. And down a lap right now, trying to get that back. I take that back. He's actually down quite a few laps, actually. So Hunt, Wilson, and Sakosi, and Castelli. And of course, now Johnny Taylor back out up from that little spin around there, looking to try to fight this one on in and fight them in back to the end. Moving the chains on in, moving the field on by right now. Everybody looking to reel and deal this one in. And folks, this has just been an absolute hard fought fight, hard long race to say the least here. But time is starting to elapse. Time is going away here. Anything less than a perfect run, in my opinion, is what's going to have to take Sakosi down now that he's got that race lead here. But Hunt, I can definitely tell you one thing. He's going to try and sneak that one in as soon as later. So now, is this it? Is this the end of the run that has been looking for all day long to try to stay ahead? Is there enough time? That's going to be the big thing. Is there enough time? It's hard to really say right now. It's hard to really imagine that it's going to be anything but a perfect run for these guys in a perfect area for them. They've all been doing the same thing, which is battling hard and battling in quick, but right now the way the track's been playing out, the way things have been going, definitely looking more and more like possibly there is a little bit of gleam of hope for anyone that's not named in that top spot here. So now we're coming back away here, ready to fight their way on in. Time is starting to elapse away. Time is starting to go away here. Will they be able to bring this one to a halt and bring this one to the cleaner? There is not a lot of time to make mistakes here now. Well, laps are winding down. Time's going away here, folks. We have removed the timer and we have removed everything else in between because we are ready to build it up and fight this one on down. So Goshi looking to stay ahead of the field here, trying to build one last little run and a half here off the line through the chicane down and about. And the lights come on, green flag flies, and Sakosi right out. Just honestly, he just ran that one into the cleaners. Moving it through here, Johnny Taylor, and the number 3 looking to try to get back up to his teammate there. A little bit of a fight there going down around as we got big problems there. Oh, coming out of turn 2, we got really big problems. Whoa. Whole field comes to a standstill, and unfortunately not the way we were expecting that at all. Oh. Wilson just got Taylor there big time. Whoa, what the hey happened there? Oh my. Well, we're not really sure what happened there. All we know is we got to take a look at the replay. Here's where the first part went wrong completely. Wiggins just taps Castelli, gets into the 21, and Milner, who just got that car fixed up, ends up taking it for a ride. So that's the first one. Here's what happened right here out of turn 2. And looks like Wilson barely tags Taylor, and Wilson ends up getting Taylor anyway. So it sends them both for a ride and a crash course, if you will, and Wilson tried to situate that one through. I'm not sure what happened there exactly between him and Taylor, but definitely damage has been done there on their end there. So now we bring him back around once again. And now we are going to try and see if maybe, just maybe, there is still some life left in this one. Tyler Hunt, off that restart, man, he just could not get it going the way he was hoping for. So will he get the do-over that he's been looking for, and hopefully a little bit of a chance at redemption? It's hard to say, folks. It is definitely hard to say, but nevertheless, you know, there's a lot of time to go at it, and there's still a lot of fight left in these drivers. No one gives an inch, or no one gives a chance out just yet. Especially if you know what you're doing out there and can fight it into the end. You can always work your way to the top zone and get yourself ahead of the field. Moving the chains on in right now, currently, as they are about ready to double file up in the next restart zone here. Now on this next restart zone, we will actually be double filing them up, getting things ripped to back around here and get things fixed on in. See who will be able to outwit and outpace the other, who will be the driver to outdo the other, and who will be the one to claim victory here. Still a lot of time left. So this might be it, folks. Will we see another caution come out? Will we see the end of this race coming to a standstill and a draw? Well, right now we're almost approaching on our 2-hour mark. And right now the field still having some time left in this one. Still some battles left to be had here. There is definitely no gimmies around here. There is no giving anything up. If you want to be the best, you've got to defeat the best. And out of turn 4, the best right now currently is Mark Sikosi. And off that restart zone, they'll bring him on down around here, coming at your living room. Running hard, Hunt tries to clear it, tries to get momentum back on. Can he get the momentum down the corner zone? Not there yet. Gonna have to give it all he's got here on the final 10 laps here. Down the back straightaway they go here. Absolutely no quit, no give on these drivers, and no one wants it more than these guys behind them. But right now, currently, Ryan W. Wiggins right now trying desperately to make some big moves and some big runs there, trying to really pull a short run on these guys. But James Freddy Krueger there don't play too nicely to that kind of stuff. He's going to fight him in here down around on the back straightaway. Field works it on by, giving it all they've got here, trying to challenge them on in, trying to stay in that zone. Each one of them giving it all they've got and all they can here. They are not giving out just yet. We'll see if this one plays in later. Right now, currently Kyle Hanna, that Ford machine, doing what he can to stay in the zone as well. Tyler Hunt currently giving some power and some runs here to Sikosi, but Sikosi hasn't given up just yet. And caution comes out at the worst of inopportune times right now, folks. I'm not sure what happened down there. Got one at a standstill, and we're not sure who it is or what happened exactly, but the cars have come to a stop yet again. And 7 laps to go. That might be a death blow, if you will, to the drivers there. We shall see, because right now the way it's looking, I gotta believe it's gonna be right on the border here. Also, I just want to remind you guys at home that tomorrow night we do have 2 main events coming your way. One being a little bit special in my heart because it is the final race of Season 2 for Pedal to the Metal Racing League. It's the last time we see the late model versions on the track and out racing. And I'll tell you right now, the drivers have been absolutely scratching and clamoring to get that last big win in that last big race. Trust me, I say it, it all does come to an end this weekend. It all comes to an end tomorrow night. Who will be able to scratch, claw, and clamor the win there, we'll find out. But for now, anyway, it's been looking like a pretty solid race and a half there. Matthew Hofford is the only driver that can take down Robert the Rattlesnake Khan in that situation, in that text. So we'll see if he's able to do just that. But the other big thing is that a lot of folks need to know about right now, here and there, is the fact that we're going to have a big race there as well right afterwards, because we're going to have the drivers of Blood Eagle Racing coming back out here for some little fun and racing here. Stock Series will be at Lernerville, as we want to correct some folks that have been confused about some things. It will not be at Lima Land, like everyone has been kind of thinking around. It actually will be switched around, so next week will be Lima Land, to my knowledge, and then of course Lernerville tomorrow night will be the one thing you guys will see here on the show. So field works them on by right now, trying to hang in there, trying to stay in this area in line of sight. Times are getting hard and times are getting tough here, and this has definitely been an all-out war to the end and a battle to the zone. And when it comes to putting the pedal to the metal, I don't think anybody knows how to do it better than some of the folks we've seen on the show here. And tonight definitely has been kind of the case for some of them here. They are desperately just trying to fight this one to the end and try to clamber in this last little bit they can go for. 5 laps remain. Mark Sikosi, Tyler Hunt, the guys to watch, the guys to face, the guys to beat. Will this be their time? Is this their final big major run they've been looking for all day long? They've been at each other's game and at each other's throat all day, and they've been fighting their way to the end. But it truly has been a matter of just stability and timing here. And now this has just really been this is just going to be a final say so of who is going to be able to win and outpace the other. Coming down the back straightaway. And yes, folks, this is it. This will be the major run, the big battle everybody wants and everyone wants to get here. There is so much at stake and so much on the line that's not even funny. But this right now, with these final laps, is going to really tell the tale for our drivers and who is the one who's going to take this one home. It is down to the final laps here. The closing of this race is coming to the end. Sikosi tries to get a run off the outside there. As the green flag flies once again, Tyler Hunt will try to stick it in there and try to build up momentum. Does he have time though? Does he have that run he needs here? Are they coming on around once again here out of turn 2? The 5 there, Brian W. Wiggins going to work there. The 25 there, James Duncan, Freddie Krueger cornering in on the inside zone once again. Moving it through, David Castelli getting a little bit offset, off pace there as they build back around here once again. Tyler Hunt out of turn 4. We've got problems. David Castelli tries to save it. It's not going to save it this time. Can't save it. It's spun around. Well, with 2 to go, they're not calling for the caution just yet. They're saying we can still run the race. No, they will not. Yellow flag comes out. Yellow flag is out. We've got bigger problems on turn 2. David Castelli spins on turn 4. Byron Bartlett, Kyle Hanna, and Brian W. Wiggins all crashed out on turn 2. We're going to the replay to find out what happened here. Ooh, Krueger and him getting a little bit into it, and unfortunately, Byron Bartlett just kind of got caught up in the pacing of that one. Got a little spin around there, and then all of a sudden he's going for a right and a half here. Nowhere to go, and the car comes to a screeching halt, damaged up, and all of a sudden that's the end of your race right there, my friend. Well, we're going to have ourselves a green-white checkered here, folks. So now, field working them on around, starting to cake them in here and starting to challenge them on by. What will be, if the case, what will be of our drivers here, and will they be able to even get this one clean to the end? So many battles and so many runs here to say the least tonight, but it's just been really a matter of trying to stay ahead of the zone, trying to fight their way into their areas and their play. The way things have gone, though, it's hard to really do all that and then some. So now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the wire, coming to the zone, coming in the rounds and a half here, and let's just say it has been a challenge and a half to get these guys fixed on in and ready to rock and sock and all that, but I think we finally have got this one figured in. We've got ourselves a finish coming up, and with green-white checkered at stake, we've seen crazier things happen here. Tyler Hunt's been on the receiving end before some of these racing zones, and same thing with Sikosi, so both can't say that they haven't been a part of strong runs and battles here. They've all been a part of it, and they've all been in that situation before. So, folks, it's not quite over yet. Still got a little bit of time left here. Still got a little bit of battle going in here tonight. And now, as they bring him on around, it looks like it is that time at last. The last chance run, if you will. I always call it the shootout, showdown, or whatever you want to call it to end it all. No gimmies around here, and no chances to make mistakes. It's either do or do not. There is no try, as a once great wise wizard told me one day. Or, I mean, sorcerer. Never mind. I don't want to get copyrighted strikes. Anyway, down out of turn 3, down in turn 4. Sikosi, Hunt. Two main guys I would keep your eye on this restart. As they back it on around, Sikosi once again getting a strong start, but this time it's not enough because Hunt has him on the stretch there. They are side by side off the go. Longtime friends, rivals on the track. At it here, but contact is made. Deja vu to earlier tonight. Tyler Hunt gets tagged by Sikosi, and Hunt has now lost all his momentum. Sikosi has got the run he's been looking for all day long. Kruger trying to build a little bit of momentum around with Wilson. Wilson, your points leader. Moving in the change, moving it through. The white flag is coming out now. Mark Sikosi might have just got the break he was looking for. Obviously, hard racing can do you one thing, and it can do you another. And I mentioned just a minute ago, Hunt's been on the receiving end of those before. So is Sikosi. It could have gone either way. Back him on down the back straightaway, though. Kruger and Wilson still at one last little edge to the end. Stelly trying to give it one last big push as well. But coming around, out of turn 3, down in turn 4. The checkered flag is out, and it's going to the affordable SEO of Mark Sikosi. A hard run, a hard battle, and a field day going to Sikosi. The end of the line and the end of the run. The unofficial results are now popping up on screen here for you folks. That is how we play them out here, and that's how it looks right now. And Tyler Hunt, whoa, slams it straight in the wall there. He's got to be a little bit upset about that. Car comes to a screeching halt there and ends up sending them on by here as the fireworks go off here. You can see the drivers all kind of doing their own things, set up and just kind of relaxing in a little bit. What a day it was, and what a race it was to the end. But it is Mark Sikosi that's going to, at long last, take this one to the cleaner. A long, hard race and a long, hard battle. All the way through to the end here, all the way through to the end zone. Sikosi takes home the W. A solid run from these drivers, as now we are going to go ahead and show off final results. The race results are in for the Affordable SEO and Marketing Cold School League ARCA Series at WTC Raceway. Sikosi is crowned the winner. Wilson, second place, third going to Kruger. Fourth to Castelli, fifth to Hunt. Sixth to Barlett, seventh to Wiggins, eighth to Hanna. Taylor getting 9th, 10th to Dougie, and then 11th to Milner, which Milliken gets 12th to round out the field tonight. And a solid battle to the end here for the drivers here as they have come to a close and come to the end. Now, as we will tune them on in here, folks, we're going to go ahead and talk with our top three. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Top 5 coming to an end here. We'll show you the guys that up on screen right now as we get things fixed on in. I'm heading down to Victory Lane here, of course. Got a lot of drivers to talk with here and a lot of stuff to talk about, so we'll go ahead and shoot them up now and just see how this one plays out. Let's go ahead and talk with your third place finisher here tonight. Well, he takes it down here into pit road here, and now he's finishing in the top 3 here tonight. This is James. Don't call him Freddy Krueger in that 25 machine. And James,
Sorry for getting so heated with our incident earlier. I was just pissed, but shit happens. So I apologize for saying that.
That's all good, man. That just.
Oh, yeah, that's all good.
I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, we heard you there, Kruger. But we actually we have you on the line right now, bud. You got us? Well, okay. Well, folks, I think we're gonna go ahead and leave him alone. I think he might not be. I think he might be kind of dealing with some things there in the car. Might be dealing with some drivers on the track. So we're gonna go ahead and leave him alone. And we'll go ahead and now talk with our second place finisher here tonight, this being Nicholas Wilson. Wilson, a long, hard roll and a long, hard race to the end, man. A lot of stuff going down here, but getting a second place finish, nothing to sneeze at here tonight, bud.
Nothing to sneeze at, man. After we had that first, 65 lap green flag run to start the race, I thought we were just going to be rolling on through. And then all of a sudden, it just became a much more interesting race.
What was the big thing that you noticed that when you were running in with these guys and really having to deal with all the way through that it was you just knew right there and then the car was going to be set up for that big haul that you had to deal with to take on Sikosi?
Well, I didn't know Sikochi was going to be that fast. We were in happy hour and in practice, he was just kind of, the same speed as everybody else. And all of a sudden, I don't know, he found it off of 4, though. He could book it down that front straightaway, the money stretch. So, I thought I was going to sit in pretty, but he had too much.
For sure there, but still, nevertheless, nothing to sneeze at for a second place finisher tonight. Of course, you and your teammate Kruger getting home that big finish there. So, hey, I got to ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this finish tonight?
Well, obviously, I got to thank my teammates. So it was tough getting hooked up here, I tell you what. And then I don't know if anybody's still paying attention, but glad to have anybody watching the race. And shout out to my boys on TeamSpeak if they watched, and my buddy Tommy, who'll watch this later on.
Oh, we definitely got a few folks laying around here still tuning on in. Of course, always great supporters up of the show and great supporters of you guys. So, nevertheless, though, man, congratulations here tonight. Get on that second place finish, and we'll see you next time out for sure.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Absolutely. Second place finishing going to Nicholas Wilson here as we now get ready to bring him on into the next spot here. Kruger, are you okay to talk now, bud?
Yeah, I apologize about that, Chris. I got you now.
All right, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, James Kruger now up in the third spot here tonight. Before we get to our race winner here, Kruger, I know we kind of probably by in a little bit of a bad time, but we just kind of want to get your thoughts on the race tonight and finishing third in this one.
Oh man, it was a heck of a race. You know, I'm lucky to finish third. That's for sure. I did not see the race ending up like that, but you race till the end, so you got to do what you got to do.
You definitely did indeed there, and had a long, hard haul and a long, hard run to the end. So I guess the biggest thing I'm going to ask you here is what do we want to say to your friends and family out here, and what do you got going on for next week?
Well, obviously, you know, I want to thank my teammates. They put together a heck of a setup. I want to thank my wife for watching the baby. It's her birthday tomorrow. Won't say how old she is, but want to wish her happy birthday.
Happy birthday for her as well here on PC Racing TV from us, men. Nevertheless, here, congratulations on a third place finish here tonight, and we will catch you on around for the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Absolutely, James. Don't go on Freddie Krueger finishing third here tonight, and of course that 25 machine. And bringing it on home tonight for Team Extreme Motorsports, that of course is Mark Sakosi. Sakosi, you have succumbed to the win and succumbed to the finish, but that last little lap there, that could have been something I think a lot of people are going to be questioning about, but what's going through your mind on that one?
Yeah, I thought I gave him enough room. I'm sitting there watching replay now. It looks like I come up a little bit. I didn't mean to do that. Man, them cautions at the end were killing us. One after the next, trying to hold him off. I seen he was timing it better and better each time. Yeah, I knew he was going to be there. Man, I don't know. I thought I held my line. It looks like I must have slipped up, just a little bit.
I mean, from our end, it looked like it was just a little bit of hard racing and hard battling all the way through from you guys. We've known before and shown on the show that, you know, that's just, some of that stuff happens a lot here, and it's just the way it goes. But I mean, at the end of the day, y'all had a good run to the end there. It's just, unfortunately, just one of those things that just happens on those last laps. But nevertheless, Sakosi, you still had yourself a pretty solid car there, man. The car seemed to be running pretty solid all day, man. What was the big thing you had against everyone else tonight?
Getting through 3 and 4 a lot better. We're so good off of 4. That's where we were getting them. I know a lot of guys were shifting there down in 1 and 2, but we didn't shift all night there. Well, maybe once or twice, just try it out. But no, we just left it right and forth, and it worked pretty good in 1 and 2. And then 3 and 4, it's where we get them. But it was extremely hard to pass. Track position meant a lot. We kept making mistakes on pit road and with our strategy, so we kept getting behind there, but we got our way back up to the front.
You did indeed, and it ended up giving yourself a trip to victory lane and a chance to talk to you and your friends and family out here. So what do you want to say to them and everyone at home, bud?
Thanks for tuning in. I got to thank everybody for showing up every week to race, and everybody that tunes in and watches.
Absolutely indeed. Nevertheless, strong finish, strong run to the end here. Coming home with, of course, that waste win here tonight. Congratulations, Sakosi, on that, and we will definitely see you next time out, bud.
Thanks, Chris.
Absolutely. And Mark Sakosi, the number 8 Affordable SEO Marketing Machine, taking home the race win here tonight, folks. And that only means one thing. It means we have come to the end of our race tonight. So a big thank you again, of course, to Affordable SEO and Marketing, of course, and also to FEGPC.net. Thanks again to everybody at home that tunes into these shows, including in the watch. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and we hope we catch you tomorrow night for a doubleheader night, as we're going to bring all the action, all that here. But for now, though, be safe. God bless. Take care. And I'm so sick and tired of those glitch graphic gremlins and internet insects. It's finally over with. We're back in a new studio and ready to go at it. We love you guys. I'm going to stop ranting. Have a good night, everybody.